Good morning, Inspiration 1390 family. It's Sonya Blakey. I didn't think this moment would ever happen, but it has been ordained. Divine intersection. I was at the Stellar Awards doing the red carpet, and then comes comedian actor Lil Rel. I was like, what's up, Chicago? And I was so honored when you said that Inspiration 1390 is your favorite station.
And Sonya, you're like, what I mean, you're a legend in the radio world. So this is cool to be here. Like, I'm not even. I've said this to you, and I'll say it again. Like, AM 1390 is one of my favorite radio stations ever, and you're one of my favorite hosts. So to be here with you is really cool.
I'm honored, and I'm blushing. I'm like, to God be the glory. But from the great West Side of Chicago, and just the greatness that has come from the work that you've done over how many would you say years? 20?
Yeah, probably over 20.
Over 20 years.
I'm 45 now. I started 1920, so yeah, it's been over 20. I'm old.
But to see what you have accomplished, a young man from the great West Side of Chicago, just to look back at that journey, what does it mean to you and what you've been able to accomplish?
It means a lot. It's interesting, like coming here, for the festival I'm putting on. It's kind of like, it's a weird time where I love to kind of reminisce. Sometimes I just like to drive out west. I do take a drive and just like, just look around. It's like, wow. And even just coming downtown sometimes, like just kind of walking past the Chicago Theater. And I remember when I shot my special at the Chicago Theater, I remember just staring at it for like hours. Like nobody knew I was standing across the street just looking at it, but it was like to see my name in lights there. And I'm like, we talking about back to school shopping. We talking about everything you could think of, Christmas time, looking at Marshall Fields in the windows and stuff like that. Like, so it's been a really cool thing to kind of like see your dreams really manifest in just this crazy way where it literally was just a dream and an ideal, and it becomes a thing, and it's like, oh wow, this is crazy.
I always think it's hard to be like a comedian. I mean, you might think it's hard to do what I do, or whatever particular career, but just to make people laugh, like it seems like it's a really tough thing to do. Is it just a gift? Is it a calling? Is it something that you work on daily to perfect? Like, what does it take to be a comedian and be funny at that?
I think it's a little bit of both, right? Where like, it's one of those things where like you could tell it's a part of your purpose, right? Because honestly, like comedy is ministry, like making people laugh, making them feel good, making them feel better, making them get through the rest of their week. Like some of the times, like after a lot of the shows I've done over the years, even yesterday, I met this lady yesterday who hugged me, and man, it was weird. Cause it wasn't weird, but she was tearing up. But she's like, "Real, I was in the hospital," and I'm like, okay, man, it's just, you just don't know. You know what I'm saying? You don't know who you touching through, and not even just through stand-up, through the movies, through everything. It's just really fascinating at this point where I know this all kind of goes hand in hand, and like God has always like showed up in the most random places when it comes to comedy. Comedy has saved my life.
Wow. So if it saved your life, of course it's saving others too as well. Wow. So it is a ministry. I never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
Comedian, actor Lil Rel. I was looking at all the movies and the TV shows. I just lost count. Like, I can't keep up about how many you've done. Of course, Get Out. My son likes Uncle Drew. I mean, there's so many facets of comedian Lil Rel. Like you're able to maneuver and fit in all these different spaces. Like how do you do that? Like what's your mindset doing a film versus a TV show? Like tell us about the mind of comedian Lil Rel.
You know what's crazy? I really love this. Like I love what I do. And so it's almost like, when you're doing what you dreamed of doing, you like, look, I'm going to go hard on this dream. I'm doing everything. Every type of movie, every type of TV show. So like even some of the TV shows I get a chance to do, it's stuff I watch. And so sometimes I hit the people up, like, I remember when I first did Insecure, Issa Rae's show, I was just showing up at like they screenings. They would like screen the episodes. I was just hanging out. At some point, Issa was like, yo, you want to do the show? Because I was just hanging out because I love the show.
Right.
And just like, the show like Southside that was shot here, those are my friends. So I did that show because they asked me to do it. It's just even getting Chance on the show. I found out Chance loved the show Southside. And so I had him come on set to meet the creators, and then he was on the show.
Wow.
it's just all of this. It's all because I truly love what I do. I love making movies. I love working with people I look up to. I love working with my heroes. I remember like shooting with Ryan Reynolds for the first time when we did Free Guy, and he didn't realize like how big of a fan I am. So we shooting the scene, and I forgot I was in the movie. I'm like watching him do his scene, like,
Right.
oh, I got a line, and I didn't even get because I was watching. It was so
Right,
crazy
right,
watching
right.
him do his thing in person because I'm such a big fan. But I really love what I do, so I try to find different things, and like even now the way I'm exploring, I'm really going deep now. Like I did, like my first real like drama where I had to like pray myself out of this character, and it was crazy. But yeah, I'm diving in even deeper, and just even directing now. Like I love what I do.
That's great, great.
I love it.
Right. And it shows, your love for the craft, and I love also how you try to give back. Like, you're here in Chicago and you're trying to give a platform for up and coming comedians. Like that's important to who you are.
That's what I mean, not like that, but for real, I promise God that. So you let me in, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna open doors for a bunch of people. Which I've always did that, like kind of quietly. You know what I mean? Like, giving writing jobs to friends when I had my sitcom, and I've done all these little random things. But now with the festival, it just opened up this bigger door. And honestly, like having the comics walk up to me after each show, each panel, whatever we're doing, and just thanking me and how excited they are and creating opportunities is also creating good energy too.
Right.
And that was really important for me. But it was a time I was kind of running from it. Because it's interesting. So I could tell you this story. This is a 100% true story. But I remember I was at a New Year's Eve service one year here in Chicago. And it wasn't, I don't know, I was going through it at the time too. Went to Pastor Jenkins' church. Where he was at Fellowship, yep. And man, he had us write down whatever God showed us. He had us close our eyes and whatever God showed you, go write it on this board. It was like a board he had set up around the church. And the word king just kept coming up. And when I went back to my seat when he started praying again, I literally saw myself sitting on a throne, and every like big comedian came and shook my hand. Now I didn't know what that meant at the time. I was still here in Chicago, local comic. But watching how everything shifted from that, and like I was just talking to the comedians about this on a panel we did on Monday. The way God has showed me the redefining version of king. A lot of times people think king, I'm the number one person, I'm the man. But it was like, no, I'm supposed to bring everybody together. And so the last like month or so has been like kind of crazy. Like I even had a moment where like, I get up every morning, I get, praise God, I get into my praise and worship. That's actually doing my workouts actually. And I'm praising God, and God was like, I appreciate you showing me love, but won't you give some of your homies their flowers? I was like, what, for real? So I went on like a tangent of calling people out the blue, leaving them voice memos, thanking them for whatever they did for my career. And I didn't realize it was going to touch them like that. Like I got like these very grown men I look up to like tearing up calling me, thanking me, because I didn't know they needed to hear that.
Right.
But it's just something about bringing everybody together, and that's been my mission. It's like, okay, that's a king move.
That's a king move, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Comedian Lil Rel, I like how you are open about your faith. Like, you definitely give God the glory. So, like, how has your faith been instrumental in your journey as a comedian? As a father, and just everything that you've been doing. God plays a significant role. Like he's number one. I believe he's number one. Right.
100%. God shows up and have shown up so many different times, right? Which is why I am very. It's interesting now. I'm actually at a gospel station talking about it, but I talk about it anywhere. I've been very intentional about that lately too. So like the last few interviews, there's a lot of stuff I'm talking about, like just talking about stuff that was prophesied to me and everything. And everybody like, oh, okay. You talking about literally? Me and Rainn Wilson did a movie called Code 3, so we've been promoting it. So I did his podcast recently. So let a lot of thoughts out there about where my new journey is in faith too. It's just I've enjoyed like rereading my Bible and seeing things totally different, maybe a lot different what was taught to me, which is interesting. Like, I've traveled the world now. I have a different perspective on a lot of things, and so like even just discovering Jesus and my relationship with Jesus, it went to another level because it's like, oh, Jesus sounds different now that I read this from a different lens.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, man, Jesus really was like, I mean, I don't want that sound hip hop, but super dope. Like, you know, Jesus was as
Yeah, I mean, that's cool to say.
because it's like we tend to fantasize Jesus,
Yeah.
but Jesus was a real one,
Down to earth, right?
man, for real. You know what I mean? Which is why, like, I think that was a big part of why people follow Jesus. It wasn't just because of the miracles and stuff. It was just Jesus was down to earth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, rereading that and just I've enjoyed. I bought a book called it's like a couple years ago called Conversations with God,
Mm-hmm.
and you almost get jealous because you're like, man, I want to have a conversation with God. How you gonna have a conversation with God? I can't have a conversation. So, but then honestly, that made me start diving into truly having conversations with God,
Mm-hmm.
and that changed everything.
Yeah.
You know, it's changed the way I live. It's, you know, my health journey, like even just, you know, the way I was able to stop drinking was like big. But that's all God, you know what I'm saying? That's me really being obedient when I was fighting. I was always trying to like do like you know, sometimes we try to trick God. And God be like, no, you don't need to be doing this. It's like, no, but what if it's just one? You know, it's like, no. It's going to be the same results. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so, like, just that journey of that, and just like God has shown up so many times.
Right.
So many times. And so that's why I've been it's be little intentional stuff. Like, even my special I did in LA, Live in Crenshaw, you know, Gerard Carmichael, who directed it, knew that I was a big fan of, oh my God, the Winans family. You know what I mean? So it's a song that closes out, you know, Restoration is what closed out my special when the credits are rolling.
Wow.
You know, he paid for it to get it added to the special. But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's these little things that, man, just, and I know I have to be louder about that.
Yeah.
I think we're in an interesting period where I think people are seeking God, but they can't feel like they're not good enough.
That's good. Yeah. That's
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. When you talk about God and faith, has that helped you in your journey, like mentally? And then you said with the drinking, and then even, you know, you've lost so much weight. Like, I almost didn't recognize you at one point, but I'm like,
well, it's interesting.
You look great. It seems like you feel great. You're thinking great.
Well, this is the crazy part, right? This is my side. I was Lil Rel for a reason. Like, it wasn't, if I was a big Rel, then that's what it would have been my name.
Right.
By the time I got to kind of LA and I was on the Carmichael show, I gained weight. And so now I'm being blessed. Get Out is coming out, but nobody knew I was depressed. I just knew how to work through it. It was me watching myself on screen and was like, it wasn't even about just the weight. I just looked like I wasn't happy. Now, I know I was performing well because this is what I do. It's my gift. The gift is what it is. But I didn't look happy to me. And so, like, even just like, you know, when people are like, what did you do? What did you do? I mean, yes, consistently I started working out. But, man, I started really having some very honest conversations with God. And as much as it felt like weight that was attached to me, it was some spiritual stuff attached to me that gave me the weight. So by the time I started letting stuff go, it's like shed. I've never seen anything like that. It just shed. And then, like, even my workouts turned into, all my playlists was all my favorite gospel playlists. I'm a playlist maker. So I got some lit gospel playlists.
Yeah, some lit. You got to tell me about that.
Very specific stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, one of my favorite artists right now is Miss Anita Wilson.
Who's from Chicago.
I love her. I love when somebody, they don't even know, like, that they're changing your whole thing with their music. You know what I'm saying?
It's a vibe, yeah.
And I hit her up like, yo, I saw her live here in Chicago, actually. I was here shooting something.
Okay.
And then I randomly bought a ticket, and it was like, it was so amazing. So amazing. But it's something about seeing an artist. It's even when I met one of the Peloton instructors in person, like, she couldn't understand why I was so emotional because I didn't know I was going to see her. But I'm like, well, you was a part of a transformation for me when I was getting on that bike every day, and you was motivating me. So, like, which made me understand what people feel about me. So it's it's random who like, I meet celebrities, I know a bunch of them, but like it's just random people. I'm like, oh, you don't know, you touched my soul, you helped me in my journey.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a different feeling. I appreciate you more than you could ever understand. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Well, those seeds were planted like early in life, because being from the west side of Chicago. I
Yeah.
mean, you said Pastor Hatch
Yeah.
was a part of your spiritual upbringing.
The
I would
Hatch
say, on
family,
the west
yeah.
side. What churches? Like, what was the journey of the churches on the west side?
So Shallow Missionary Baptist Church is my grandfather's church, right?
Okay.
That's what he started. And then by the time, now look, I'm gonna call Pastor Hatch Uncle Marshall, yeah. So this is what it is.
Okay.
By the time Uncle Marshall got ordained and everything, he went to Commonwealth. That was his first church, and that's what. So we all traveled wherever he went. All of us, my aunties, my mama, all of us did. So like it's always been a family oriented thing. And we got to New Mount Pilgrim. We all went to New Mount Pilgrim, which Pastor McCoy was really good friends with my grandfather. And just seeing what New Mount Pilgrim is now, and just, I was there last Sunday, and first of all, I watch him every Sunday. So I go to Warren Campbell and Erica Campbell's church, Cali Worship. I'm a member there in L.A. So I go to 9 o'clock service there.
Okay.
And then I come home, chill out for a couple hours, work out, have some breakfast, and then I watch New Mount Pilgrim every Sunday. So it was funny. I had them laughing last week because I was like, bring it up. So like, oh, you really be watching? I'm like, yes, I watch literally every Sunday because it still makes me feel connected to my family.
I get it.
Yeah.
Does your fiance? Is she a woman of faith too?
100%. She's an amazing woman of faith. She's a big part of me taking my journey to another level. I love the fact that me and her get into some deep conversations. Like, they'd be so deep and so beautiful. And just even like, the way we bring God into our relationship. We had some tough times. But like when we decide, like literally we've been in arguments where we literally put God in the middle of it. God, you heard what she said? See? That's what I'm saying. And but funny thing is, when you do that, it calms everything down. Instead of y'all just doing y'all thing, you put God, because God always be like, y'all done? Because it's all really God to get us to listen to each other when you bring God in the middle of it.
Got it.
So it's been beautiful. It's both of our second time around, you know what I mean? And, she said something that was really cool, and we both been saying, it's like, man, I think, not like that, but like our first marriages, I know for me, it was my choice, but at the same time, life things happen where you're like, okay, this is probably what I should do. And she felt the same way. But this time, we really making a decision like, no, this is my decision. This is who I not no other factors in it. It's just because I truly love you and feel like this is going to be amazing. I chose you, you chose me. So, yeah, that's where we are.
It's good to have somebody that kind of understands you, especially with what you do and how busy you are. It's ideal to have a mate that kind of understands.
She's
that
amazing.
World.
She's amazing. Her daughters, they were, they was on the Keenan show, and they was viral and all this stuff. Yeah, Danny and Dana. So like, it was crazy when I met her because my kids was excited. Like, yo, you were Danny and Dana's mom? I'm like, yeah. It's crazy, like, because they were really popular, right? They was the Call Jesus little girls, and she just know that world. It really was a perfect. I'm glad that God put us in the same space, and it was just so natural. I'll never forget when I met her. Like, we met twice actually. We didn't meet, but we was both at Universal getting our COVID tests. She was with the girls. They was tested because they was on the show. Keenan Thompson had a sitcom on NBC. The girls played her daughters. Okay. And so we was all getting our tests, and we both at that time had the G-Wagons, had the same car. And I was trying to get her attention, but she wasn't paying me. I was trying to be cool. I'm sitting we was waiting on our results. So I'm sitting there trying to look cool. I got my leg up. She wasn't paying me no mind. And one of the girls said, Mom, he has the same car you got. Y'all should get married. She was like, whatever. Because she was just on her phone doing stuff.
Right.
But I didn't necessarily forget that. Well, I'm like, So I didn't get a chance to shoot my shot. That didn't happen. But then we had an event. Both of us are good friends with Megan Good. It was when the Harlem show first came out, and they did a screening in L.A. And I went on stage after the screening and said some beautiful things about Megan because I love Megan Good. And she pulled me to the side. And it was crazy because I was living my single life. So I was there with like two girls. And I'm just being honest. And she came up to me, was like, yo, what you said was so sweet and meant so much to Megan. You got a good heart, and don't change that. And I was like, who is you? Like, nobody ever. She just had a different energy than the other girls I've been talking to in LA. And I couldn't forget her. So I went to Megan's page and like stalked it to find her. So I found her page, and I literally was laying in my bed, like just going through her Instagram, and was just blown away. And then I saw that she was, her and the girls were like helping feed the homeless, and they was raising money. And I saw the goal, so I just paid off the rest of it so they could reach their goal. And that's when she DM'd me like, yo, did you just pay off? I'm like, yeah, y'all doing the work. You know what I'm saying? Like I was so engulfed in their life and who they were. Right. It was so fascinating.
Right.
And we started DMing each other. She saw me playing the drums, the gospel music one day. This is one of my little, I like to do just chilling. And she's like, you play the drums? I'm like, yeah, I played at church. I started when I was one of the little boys. I used to go to the guest churches with my little sticks. Like, oh, that little boy about to play the drums. That was me. And we just started talking, and then we started leaving these voice memos. And then I went to shoot Harold in the Purple Crayon, and we was doing our first table read. And she was like, well, before you do the table read, can I pray with you? And I was like, well, let's tag team. She said, what you mean? I was like, you go, and then we both just go together. And that was our first FaceTime date. It was kind of like Love is Blind, the show. Because all we did was talk for like months. Because we weren't in the same city. I was shooting a movie in Atlanta. And so once we prayed together, that was it. We've been together since then.
Well, look at God. All right. You got a new movie coming out, Unexpected Christmas.
Yes.
I heard you talking about that at the Stellar Awards.
Yes. We screened it here in Chicago. It was part of the festival. And man, it was a hit. Look, y'all, we ain't had a cool little black Christmas movie in a while. This is it.
This is it.
Right. I love the reaction the other day. It was great. It was a lot of loud laughs in the theater, and it was good energy, and everybody been talking to me about it since then. So, Unexpected Christmas. Me and Tabitha Brown starring it. We both produced it also. Man, just a great cast. Okay. Great script. It's some drama in it, but it's really funny. It's gonna be fun. It's a fun ride.
That's good. Before you go, comedian Lil Rel, website. What words of encouragement or what words of advice would you give to up and coming comedians that kind of want to, take the same path, like not just be a comedian, but also maybe an actor, a writer, producer?
Man, don't box yourself in. First of all, do it all, learn it all, and truly learn the business of it. A lot of times, sometimes we just want the show part, but you got to learn the show part of show business. You got to learn the business. The business is so important. Like where I'm at now, knowing the business part of it has been so much more fun. Learning how to raise money and get financed and making sure I get their return and all the great stuff. Man, it's been a blessing. So just have fun too. And don't overthink it. Like a lot of times we think we have to be like people or this person did this. Just do you. Do you. Trust God. If God gave you the vision about who you are, believe in that vision. And then once you get, like a lot of times we sabotage ourselves. I do it all the time sometimes where like I'll ask God for something, it's happening, and then I get scared. Like, well, God, it ain't got to be exactly how you showed me. This is cool. Right. God's like, no, why would you? You did everything to get to this point. Now you're going, because you're scared, you don't think it's going to happen all of a sudden because you're letting the enemy be in your head. No, like see it through. See it through. Trust that vision.
Sounds amazing. Anything that you want to share before, we cut this interview off?
Man,
you got a lot. You got a lot.
Keep watching these movies. I got a new special that's on Tubi. I'm their first original comedy special. That's on there right now, so make sure you go check it out. I think it's my best work. I co-directed it and financed it with two of my church members. I mentor their son. They just had they said they had some extra bread, and they jumped on with me, and we did it to close out the festival last year. And now I own it. I licensed it to Tubi, you know what I mean? And that's crazy to own it. I own it.
That's crazy, yeah.
I own that special. And that's a big deal. Ownership. And that's the route I've been on is ownership. And that was the first thing from the ownership thing I done with my production company and made that deal with it. It was some guy showed me about Tubi, you know what I'm saying? And I had a real meeting with them. It was, I literally sat with the execs, like, let me be your guy. Let me be your comedy guy. Not just for me, like, let me bring comedy here, films, everything. So be on the lookout for a lot more than just that special and a big relationship with them. So I'm excited about that.
Thank you so much for taking the time to be here on your favorite station, Inspiration 1390. Comedian Lil Rel.